What do I think happened to my sister? Well, after years of interviewing my dad, talking to friends and family, pouring through like the 3,000 pages of case file and everything else I can get my hands on, this is what I truly think happened. So Alissa went missing on May 17th, 2001 from Phoenix, Arizona. That was the last day of school for her, the last day of her junior year. But I think he was planning this up to a year in advance, and let me tell you why. So on the last day of her sophomore year, there was an incident where he took Alissa out into the desert, tried something. They get home, they park, Alissa runs to a neighbor and begs for help. It's really, really sad. It's crazy. Alissa told a ton of people about this incident, which is why we know about it now. But what happened was Alissa demanded to go live with our brothers that summer. And I remember that. She did go live with them. My dad even took me to go spy on her because he thought that she was like, I don't know, like kissing another guy or something. I hate my childhood. But essentially, after that happened, my dad wrote a letter to Alissa's school and said Alissa ran away on the last day of school, which is why I asked him about that. It's an incident that never actually occurred. He even said that Alissa didn't run away. He says, I think he said before, I forget exactly in which recording, that anything in that case file is a lie, that all these letters that the police found were just fabricated by them. But essentially, I think that's when he found the note, or at least part of the note, because what we also know, and my dad talks about it in one of those last few videos, it was a year prior that Alissa took $300 from him. He caught her, she had to give it back. My dad told my brother about it, so we know all about this incident. And that was referenced in the note found a year later. So my theory is that it was around that summer that Alissa had, maybe, I don't know, maybe she really was planning on running away a year earlier. But he finds this note that says, Dad and Sarah, when you dropped me off at school today, I decided I really am going to California. Sarah, you wanted me gone, now you have it. Dad, that's why I took $300 from you, Alissa. So I think he found that, kept it for a year, because not only does the note reference the $300 from a year prior, it was also referencing an older conversation that she had with our aunt about going with her and living with her in California, which is something Alissa and I did discuss. She didn't want to do it. We didn't know our aunts. We didn't want to go live with them. So everything in that note points to a year prior. And when the handwriting expert looked at it, they said, one, that it was Alissa's handwriting, and two, they think that it was written at 2 different times, which I think lends even more credence to the theory. But yeah, essentially I think that he kept the note, waited until the last day of her junior year, and then did whatever he did to her to make sure that she couldn't come back. And I think that he chose the last day of school on purpose so that the school wouldn't be calling. She wouldn't miss a day or miss a week or whatever and it get on somebody's radar. If a kid doesn't come back after summer, it's a totally different situation than if they don't come back the next week or after holiday break or whatever. So that is my theory. I think that he was planning it for up to a year prior. And I know that I'm biased, but I think that there's some pretty good evidence to point to that. Not to mention, about the whole money thing, right? I think that's why my dad now says that Alissa took money from our Disneyland fund, despite us having gone just weeks before, because that's not traceable, right? If she took cash, it just makes his story more legitimate. But I would like to remind everybody that there was almost $2,000 in her bank account when she went missing that she never touched. So yeah, that is my theory. I'm like out of breath. That is my theory. It's long. That's why the podcast about her is like 30 episodes long, because it explains all this context. I read the letters verbatim. Like, my whole goal is to put everything out there that I have and get honest opinions. Obviously, generate leads. Hopefully, one of those leads leads to us bringing her home. But yeah, I mean, I think people really get it twisted that I want it to be my dad. I've said it before and I'll say it again, like, there is no universe in which I would wish to lose not just one person, Alissa, but also my dad. He was my hero and my best friend, which sounds insane now, but I know so much more now than I did back then. So that was my very long-winded, uncut theory of what I think happened to Alissa.